People have got this crazy obsession with passive income, living the laptop lifestyle, whether you want to travel, be on the beaches, do something great with your life, and it all starts with property. But honestly, is passive income a real thing? And if so, how can we achieve it? Hi guys, for those that don't know me, my name's Jamie York and I've been investing in property for the better part of a decade now. And I started this YouTube channel back in July of 2020 to give as much value to you as possible. And that's what we're going to be breaking down in this video, how you too can achieve passive income, if it does exist. So as I said, people have got this crazy idea of investing in property and it's going to be passive. You know, I'm going to be able to buy it, put it in, set it and forget it. And you see the trainers in the UK, myself included being a trainer, talking about this famed, passive, elusive, residual income that's going to protect the rest of your life. But actually, what is it really about? So first of all, passive income is when you are buying something. In my game, I like buying a property. Okay, so what happens is typically you put earned income or business income or active income into an asset. For this sake, we're going to do property. If you've been watching my channel, you know how good I am at drawing. It's incredible. And then what happens is when you've put it in property, it will have a tenant that goes in. You'll refurb it. This is Dave. Hi. That was bad. It gets worse. So that's Dave there. He's a tenant. He moves in and he says, look, I'll pay you that £500 a month. Oh, woohoo! And then that goes into your bank account, getting you cashola. That's your bank. I'm not going to try anymore. So that's what passive income is, in theory. But it's making this massive assumption that a tenant will pay you. I know it might seem obvious, but no, it doesn't just happen like that. It's making the assumption that there aren't any problems with the property. It makes out that there's never going to be any arrears, like a tenant can't lose their job or anything else that goes wrong. But there are ways to mitigate this, and what I want to go through is how you can actually achieve this within property. So a big thing I want to cover here is, what's the obsession with this? Now, I kind of get it, you know, gosh, stop working for your job. You're just over broke. It's like, piss off. We all have a job. You think because I own a business, I don't have a job. You think because I've got staff doing a load of work that I don't actually work for them a lot more than it seems they work for me? I'll be honest, sometimes I forget which way around it is. And it's not that people don't work hard, it's that you always need to have a purpose. So you're always working on something. As the owner of the property, of a company, you are working for your team to add the most value. If you are an owner of a property, you are working for your tenant to provide a great home. If you're a stay-at-home mum or dad, you are working to look after the children and look after the house. There's always a job to do. And so I never really get this obsession with passive income, especially when the obsession of passive income is to go and travel the world or live on a beach. Now, here's the reality of the situation, okay? Now, if you've ever seen somebody, take somebody that you know that's retired, okay? And look at a photo of them when they've retired and look at a photo of them 5 years later. A majority of them, they seem to have aged significantly in the 5 years after retirement. And the reason is they seem to have lost their purpose in life. And I think it's really important when you talk about passive income that you have a purpose to go into, not just, I want to retire. Okay, and I see people, I'm 29 now, but I see people joining cohorts at 23, 24 going, I want to be financially free and travel the world. So you may have heard something like, too much of a good thing can be bad for you. I'm not actually sure on the full phrase, but it's true. So I've been traveling and traveling gets boring. Even though I love traveling, it just becomes part of a job that you're doing. Going out and eating great food all the time makes you lose your respect for what great food tastes like. When you can do anything and you do everything, you end up doing nothing because actually it just consumes your life and you're not actually getting purpose and fulfillment from there. So instead of getting obsessed with passive income because of those things, I would get obsessed with passive income for protection, so that if for whatever reason your purpose, your drive, your passion in life doesn't pay you well, everything else is facilitated. So I find that I have two real passions in my life, and it all revolves around helping others. So for me, I love education. And I love doing, and it earns great money, of course, but I love producing YouTube content for free. I love doing courses and education in property investment and wealth. And I really enjoy it. And as I said, it makes money. I also do a lot out in Africa, which I've been told I need to talk more about because I'm useless at it. But doing things with schools out there. I'm trying to do something with a local charity, which I'm looking to get on the board of with child poverty here. And I'm genuinely passionate about that. Now, education makes a lot of money. It does. Okay, but the other stuff doesn't pay anything. And actually, property for me facilitates everything like that. So I'm at that stage in my life now where if I didn't earn a penny of earned income ever again, I've got too much money to live on. And that sounds like a really dick thing to say out loud, but I really don't mean it from a look at how cool and impressive that is. More to, as I say, impress upon you that what it facilitates isn't traveling the world for me, although it can do that too. It's more about fulfilling on my purpose, and you can do that too. The next thing I want to say with this is if you are looking to create passive income to live the life of your dreams, do not do that on its own, okay? And here's what I mean by that, and it's talking about upgrading your circle along with your income. So if you go out there, and this is you down here, okay, and you've got all your friends down here, what's going to happen as you build yourself up and upgrade yourself is either as you upgrade yourself, your friends around you need to upgrade themselves as well, or you end up spending less time with them / cutting them out of your life. And that sounds a bit brutal, but it's the reality, okay? And if somebody goes, you've changed. So of course I've changed. Like we've known each other since we were 19. I was a dickhead. Now I'm a different kind of dickhead. Yeah? And it's like you develop yourself and you grow as a human. Of course that involves change. They say people can't truly be in love with each other for more than 3 years. And apparently the only way to continuously be in love is to fall in love again with your partner. And the way that you do this is by developing yourself and growing. Okay, I'm not talking from experience there, I'm talking in theory from other people. But I definitely find the same with my friends. Okay, I am not friends with my friends because I was friends with them 10 years ago. I'm friends with them because I love who they are today. Okay, the people that I hung out with 10 years ago are not the people I want to hang out with much today. Okay, I want people that have a growth mindset, that figure out and focus on abundance, not scarcity, and they look at growing themselves in an individual in all areas of life. So what happens, strictly from a financial perspective, is you want to travel the world, right? The thing is, when you travel the world, if you do this and you don't upgrade your circle, you'll be traveling alone. Now, if you think about your situation, you're working a full-time job, maybe, okay, and the people around you are working a full-time job. If they're not coming on that journey with you and you're not upgrading your circle, you'll end up doing a lot of things alone. So I don't really go out for many expensive dinners and stuff like that. It's not really my thing, but you know, I like the taste of Nando's, to be honest. I'm pretty cheap and it tastes good, you know. But every now and then I'll go to a restaurant that's going to cost me £600-700. Not very often, especially the last year. But I also want to be with people that, not that money isn't respected, but they're able to financially afford that as well and be able to enjoy that with me, the cuisine, because I do like good food as well. And if I want to go away and you know, go somewhere for a month and travel a little bit, it'd be great to have people in my life that has got that ability where I'm not needing to be charitable and pay for them all the time. And that's not because I wouldn't, by the way. It's more, it's demeaning doing that, and people don't want to be treated like charity. So just a really important point to insert in this video is if you're going to upgrade your life and upgrade your finances, upgrade your circle. So next thing we need to do is respect the difference between active and passive income. Let me give you an example with a couple of the property businesses that I have. One is active and is definitely not passive, and one of them is a lot more passive, I should say. So I do something called deal packaging and property trading. Now what I should say is any strategy can be passive if you're building a business around it. Now, I'm going to be upfront. My property trading and deal package business is definitely not passive for me right now, but it will be at some stage, and I'll be involved as and when I want to, okay? That's when you get in operations and things like that. But I can go out and find a deal, find an investor over here who will buy the deal, and in return, they will pay me a fee. Typically, £5,000 for a finder's fee or £6,500 for a full end-to-end process. And if you've got 100 grand or more and you want a hands-free property portfolio building service, put APG in the comments and we'll be in touch. So that is one option, okay? Now I could go and find a property and I get paid that. Now, that's quite a lot of money. You know, obviously you have to get educated properly. You need to find out how to do this. But if you found one a week of those, that's $250,000 a year you're earning. Not too shabby, okay? What you need to respect is the difference between reinvesting for active income and the difference for passive income. So if I reinvest this £5,000 into marketing for new properties, I'm probably going to get 200 leads. And those 200 leads, I'll probably end up closing 10 properties, which brings me another, let's say £5,000, which brings me £50,000. So that's giving me a hell of a lot of return. What is that? 1,000% return? You're never going to get that in passive income. And when I talk to people in different businesses, they're always going, oh, why would I invest in that when I'm only making 8% return? Well, 8% return is ridiculous. So the other thing with property, and here's how it goes into passive, is let's say I want to buy this property here. Can't really see that, can you? If I want to buy this property here and it costs me £100,000, I'm probably going to put in, all in, about 40,000. Now, bear in mind with property, you can leverage it. So you're going to have debt on that and your equity, plus fees, stamp duty, legals, and any refurb that's needed, okay? Then what you can do is this individual here is going to rent the property and let's say pay whatever it is a month, 600. Let's just that's 7,200 a year, but there's going to be costs. You need to pay the mortgages, voids, etc. Just for ease of this video, let's say you're getting 10%. 10% is like phenomenal, but it's going to be closer to 8%. But let's say you get 10% net ROCE. ROCE is return on capital employed, or return on your cash left in the property. So you're going to make £4,000 over or based on your 40,000 that's left in the property. So you might go, well, hold on, I could invest 5 grand and get 50. Yeah, but that's from active and you need to do it again and again and again and again and again. But with this buy-to-let property, you're able to put in that and get a 10% return consistently every year. That's without factoring in rental increases in price, which happens over time, and the increase in value, which typically is around conservatively, very conservatively, 5% a year, dependent on the area. Okay, so this is as close to a set and forget. So I can earn more and more money, but there's only so many of us. At a certain point in my team, there's a certain point where actually, wouldn't it be nice that if you just wanted to have a few months off, that the money doesn't stop with that? I really love the idea of passive income because it allows me and allows you to stop working so hard for your money and just take a step back and let your money start working hard for you. So when we're looking at these strategies, what one is the most passive and what one's the least passive? Now, this is not including every single strategy out there before you watch this and go, what about this one? What about this one? Although let me know in the comments if I missed one and I'll let you know my opinion on this. The important thing before going in this is every single one of these can be passive once you've built a business around it. For example, serviced accommodation is definitely not a passive income stream for a long time, and I mean years. However, when you've got great management in place and it makes financial sense, then it's really going to become a passive. So anyone can be. So let's go from the top to the bottom. So what you've got is at the top deal packaging. Or, let me just type it up, deal packaging, property trading PT. Okay, this is the least. It's really important to do that because will you make most of your money from deal packaging and trading? Absolutely. But you need to be able to invest 10 hours a week into it, doing the right thing. So if you don't get educated, you're going to be spending a lot more time. But if you get educated, if you spend 10 hours a week, you can usually quit your job off of that time or over a good amount of time. Okay, it's not get rich quick, any of this. But that's definitely going to be active income. And then as you're going down, everything else is because this is kind of irrelevant that it's to do with property. Every business that is active, you're a sales and marketing business. Forget the fact it's property. What we do is we facilitate financial freedom for our investors. That's what we do. The reason why we do this is we just want people to have better lifestyles so they can stop working hard for their money and have their money start working hard for them. And we happen to do this through the vehicle that is property. But it could be anything. That's just my speciality, okay? It's a business. Everything else is an investment. Now, what I'm not going to mention is rent-to-rent and lease options. The reason why is that is not a strategy, it's a tactic. People get really confused, and I know you see trainers selling it as if it's a strategy. It's not. It's a tactic, which is why you should never learn it on its own. Okay, rent to rent isn't a strategy. HMO is the strategy if you're doing it on that. Lease option isn't a strategy. Buy to let is a strategy, but you can apply those tactics to any strategy. So I'd probably say serviced accommodation is one of the least passive income routes. I would say after that you've got HMOs, and HMOs can be a bit of a ball ache, but they're usually okay. I would say any sort of conversion is effort up front. So of course you might have commercial conversion as the most effort up front, but it depends what you're converting to. After HMOs, I would say residential buy-to-let properties. You can pretty much set and forget them, have a great management, but bear in mind there will be issues with the property in time. So I'd probably say, even if you've got a big portfolio, if you've got great management, maybe half a day each month looking over and doing a portfolio review, but you can pretty much do half a day to a day a month no matter how big your portfolio is. And probably the most passive that most people don't talk about is commercial investment. Okay, commercial investments, I don't do a lot of commercial investment, I'll be honest with you, I'm not an expert in it, but the whole point of commercial is actually you can have an office, all of the liability goes to the tenant. They're called FRI leases, a full repairing and insuring lease, and they have long-term tenancy. So downside is they stay vacant for a long time, but when you get a tenant in, usually they're in 5, 10, 15 years or more. So that is definitely from least to most passive income that you're gonna get with your strategies. Now, if you've got any questions on this, put it in the comments. We get loads of comments and we really do try to answer every single one, but be patient with us. We will get round to you. And whilst you're at it, if you are getting value from this video right now, make sure to smash the like button. And if you want to help me out, just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified on the videos that we post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So something I really want to push forward with this is no matter what stage, event you go to, webinar you go to that goes, this is passive income, get out of your job, you need to understand it's not, you shouldn't be chasing getting out of your job, because all you're doing really is going from one job to another, at least temporarily. Okay, every single one of these strategies is not passive. I would say for the first 6 to 12 months, it involves your time input, okay? Now, it doesn't need to be 50 hours, 100 hours a week. It can be 10, 15 hours a week, but you still need to respect the fact it does need that time and ongoing commitment. A lot of people that come to join me on my programs go, oh, this person said I can do this with a couple of hours a week. Is that true? No, it's not. They're bullshitting you. It needs to take time, energy and effort going into this. But something I want you having the mindset of is, as long as you are going in with that mindset of creating systems, processes, scripts, and then training everything around that, could be a nice little visual, that training all around that, then you are creating a passive income stream over the long term. And remember, I say to people, you're not buying a packet of crisps here. You're getting into property investment. This is a long-term strategy. You have to work hard enough to not have to work hard. You have to set it up to forget it and move on. Okay, so put in the time, put in the energy, the systems, the processes, the scripts, and the training around that, and you will have a passive income stream for the long term, and even better for your children and grandchildren that might not even be around yet. Property is legacy. The final big thing I would give you is pick one. Now, as you've probably heard me say plenty of times, is where focus goes, energy flows, and results show. If you try to spread yourself too thin, and it's called the magpie effect, where people go, oh, Jamie talks about deal packaging quite a lot. Yes, that's because I'm biased. I love deal packaging, and I'm financially biased because I educate people around deal packaging and property trading. So I'm obviously going to be excited about that, because if you pay me for a course, then I make money from you. Okay, I do happen to think it is the best, but of course I'm biased. But you might go, oh, I've heard this person does commercial conversions and they're doing 100 grand, and all they're doing this, and all they're doing this, and all they're doing this, and all they're doing this. Remember, you need to remain focused. So imagine you running a marathon. Now let's imagine each one is like that. Let's say that's the start line and that's the end line. This is 26, 20, 15, 10, and 5 miles, okay? So I think a marathon is 26.2 miles, or however, I should bloody know after running one. But imagine if I went, oh, do you know what? I'm gonna run 5 miles and I know where I'm going. Okay, cool. Oh, and now I'm gonna run 5 miles in that direction. Oh, and now I'm gonna run 5 miles in that direction, and I'm gonna run that direction. At the end of it, after 5, 5, 5, 5, and 2, you've 5 and 2, Jesus, good math, Jamie. You've run the 26.2 miles, but you haven't done the marathon. You don't get the award at the end. You don't have the achievement. And that's the same in property investment that I see over and over with all these training companies and stuff. And again, it's a bit weird because I have a training company, but you see it far too much where people go and get excited about this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. So they're putting in the same amount of effort, the same amount of time. They're just as intelligent as everyone else that is getting results. The difference is over a 5-year period, the people that are unsuccessful, they pick this strategy, then saw somebody else, and then another, and then another, and then another. And the successful people have done their research. They've got educated and mentored or whatever it is. I'm not trying to sell something right now, at least. Doing that, and they stuck with it. Whether that's deal packaging or service company, there's some great trainers for all of it. Okay, if it's in buy-to-lets, deal packaging or property trading, then I'd love to help you, and you could put education below. But if not, there's plenty of other people out there for other strategies, but they've stuck at it and they've understood from the beginning where focus goes, energy flows, and results show. Now, of course, what every single one of those successful people have done is they've smashed the like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course, tapped the notification bell. I'll see you in the next video.